A very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Outlook Show. I'm Rachel Jones, reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, the Australian share market's expected to open higher this morning. That's after tracking strong cues from Wall Street. Yesterday, at the closing bell, the S&P ASX 200 was 0.7% or 50 points lower at 7,420. The best performing sector was information technology, adding 0.2%, while the worst performing sector was materials. They were down 1.7%. The best performing stock in the S&P ASX 200 was Chalice Mining, closing 3.7% higher at $10.33. The worst performing stock was Mesoblast, closing 8.7% at $1.74. Now, we have lots of companies reporting their results today. First off, we have the Commonwealth Bank. They reported a delivery of cash net profit after tax of $2.2 billion in the first quarter of the 2022 financial year. That's up 20% on the same period last year. They reported a loan impairment expense of $103 million in the September quarter, which equated to 5 basis points of average gross loans and acceptances. The bank's income was down 1% or flat. That's excluding the divestment of Aussie home loans. Their expenses also fell 1%, with lower remediation costs offsetting higher staff expenses. Moving on, and testing inspection company ALS today announced underlying NPAT from continuing operations of $127.1 million for the first half of financial year 2022, an increase of 57.7% compared to the prior corresponding period. Now, this strong result was driven by the Life Sciences and Commodities divisions. Life Sciences volumes surpassed pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels, growing revenue by 19%, while the strong commodity cycle drove a revenue increase of 37.7% compared to prior corresponding period in the Commodities division. And nufarm has just released its financial results for the 12 months ending 30th of September, showing revenues of $3.2 billion, up 10% versus the previous corresponding period. Underlying earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization of $370 million. That's up 51% versus the prior corresponding period. CEO Greg Hunt says earnings growth and a focus on working capital management is driving strong cash generation. The company declared an unfranked dividend of 4 cents per share. Well, now it's time for a very short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect the trading day.
Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on the Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV.
And welcome back to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones and you're watching Kalkine TV. Firstly, let's take a look at Bitcoin. The crypto lost 6.3% and has fallen below $60,000. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been wiped off cryptocurrencies in a market-wide crash that's left experts baffled. Other major cryptos, including Ethereum, Binance's BNB, Solana, Cardano and Ripple's XRP, have also fallen, losing up to 10% of their value. Overall, the crypto market fell $200 billion overnight to around $2.6 trillion, having briefly seen $3 trillion during a record-breaking rally last week. And at the time of writing, the Dow Jones rose 0.36%, the S&P 500 gained 0.56%, and the Nasdaq added 0.76%. The Pan-European Stock 600 closed 0.2% higher, while Germany's DAX and France and the Eurozone shares all rose to new peaks. Oil prices settled mixed as prospects of tight inventories globally were offset by forecasts of a production increase over the next few months. Brent crude rose 0.5% to $82.43 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude declined 0.2% to $80.76 a barrel. Gold prices fell from a more than 5-month peak as the dollar was strengthened by upbeat US retail sales data for October. Spot gold fell 0.6% to $1,851 an ounce. Meanwhile, the benchmark iron ore futures fell 1.1% to 541 yuan a tonne. Well, that's all from our Morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.